What up? What up? What up? It's the man Sean P. We coming in live. This is the brand new for YouTube Sean P. Experience, man. That's right. Same Sean P. Energy, brand new channel. The perfect first guest, man. The perfect first guest. Couldn't ask for better, my man. Kiese Laymon is in the building, right?
What up,
Let me
Sean
kick it
P?
off right. For those that don't know, those that's new to this page, new to the channel, my name is Sean Polador, six-time self-published author, public speaker, educator, a community curator, amongst other things. And my channel is all about highlighting our greatest scholars, creatives, illustrators, filmmakers, you name it, and finding out what makes them tick and getting to the nuances of how they're doing their craft. So my goal is, whenever we finish this thing, you feel like, you know what? I'm gonna get my laptop and put some words on the page. I'm gonna get my pen.
That's
I'm gonna go
right.
and write stuff. I'm gonna take that script. I'm finally going and post it, right? So that's my goal. All of my shows, I want to set the table with that. So Kiese, this show is called Sitting with the Griots. So my brother and I wrote a book recently called The Modern Day Griots
Mm.
about the storytellers, ancient to us now being storytellers. How do you feel about the moniker of being a modern day griot to our community?
Oh, bro. Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest blessings of my life, man. But I also just want to say thank you, Sean P. Because, man, when we linked up together in New Orleans, it felt like a few weeks ago. When we were both lucky enough to hear Jesmyn Ward talk, bro. The energy. As soon as I walked in the building and we connected, was on point. And then you blessed Jesmyn with that most incredible question, bro. Like, and me and Jesmyn been talking about that question since. So it's just a blessing to be here. Man, being called a modern griot, man, from anybody again, it feels like somebody earned, but I ain't gonna front. It feel good, bro. It feel good. It feel good. It feel good.
Bet. So let me do the proper introduction, right? The proper scholarly professional introduction.
You
Your
so
actual
silly.
notes, right? So
Oh
P.S.A.
man.
Lehman is a black Southern writer from Jackson, Mississippi. Lehman is the Libby Shuren Moody Professor of English and Creative Writing at Rice University. Lehman is the author of Long Division, which we're here for, the main event,
All
Long
right.
Division, which won a 2022 NAACP Image Award for fiction, and the essay collection How to Slowly Kill Yourself and Others in America, named the notable book of 2021 by New York Times critics. Layman's best-selling memoir, Heavy, an American memoir, won the Andrew Carnegie Medal for excellence in nonfiction. I cut it short on purpose. If I'd have had the whole thing,
No, bro, you ain't got to do
it
none
could
of
have been the whole show because he is so
it.
decorated.
Silly,
But
bro.
I want to give proper credence to who we're sitting with right now. Proper, respect. You know what I'm saying?
Man, thank you for having me, man. You ain't got to read none of that. We here to build together. I'm hyped. Let's do it.
So, okay, before we get into the serious stuff, I got a real important moment to share with the audience. And for me to you, as an author and a creative myself. You just said we went to the Jesmyn Ward book signing weeks ago in New Orleans. Baldwin and Company, shout out to them, right? Black bookstore. First of all, yourself and Jesmyn, we've talking about this ever since. Y'all performed in the rain for an hour and a half.
Mm,
Y'all didn't act like it was raining.
no.
I don't know if there's footage, but if there's footage, you probably can't even tell y'all sitting there.
Right.
It's the whole time
Yeah.
coming down.
Yeah.
The crowd wasn't even tripping. It
No.
wasn't no moaning, wasn't no groaning. It wasn't nobody getting their stuff, getting ready to leave. We all just like, and we just in that thing. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But the most important thing after the event, of course, you got the big old long line, is a Jesmyn Award book sign, rightfully so. We all do our Jesmyn Award thing. But I go inside the back again, and you're there sitting signing books too.
Mm-hmm.
Long line, snaking, right? I got my long division to be signed, which it is, right?
Oh, yes,
This is the most
indeed.
important thing I saw. The most important thing I ever saw. You took so much individual time per person, and you were engaging and like leaning in, and you was really, really with them, eye contact. You was like, it wasn't like no, okay, shake my hand, take the picture, next person. And
Mm-mm.
some folks do it like that. We're not saying no names, we ain't dissing nobody. But the
Mm-hmm.
level of individual care you gave to all of us. And at one point, my brother Achilles, he came whisper to us. He said, "Look, Kiese got to leave,
Right.
so we got something to go and do. Y'all try to wrap it up."
Yeah.
Whenever I walked up to you, I didn't plan on saying nothing. He already had told me what the play was.
Right.
You was like, bro, no question. You was like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I really, really admire that. And as an author myself, I try to take my time too. But
Absolutely.
ever since watching you, I will never ever forget how you made all of us feel individually. And it wasn't even your night. It wasn't even you wasn't the
Nah.
marquee.
Nah.
You wasn't the main event,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
But then there's more. When we left, you came out the building by yourself with the bags and all that. And we chopped it up on the sidewalk, one
Yes,
on one.
sir. Yes, sir.
But whenever we was leaving, you said, "All right, fam." And me and my homeboy, I came. We started walking off, leaving. I look back. You by yourself with the bags. I'm like, man, where you park at? He said, "Oh man, I'm over here." You know why I asked that question? I was coming to get your bags, bro.
Wow.
Why would I let you carry
Wow.
your bags wherever you was going? Then I'm
Wow.
like, where you driving to? You driving yourself? Like, how far you going? Like, you need some. I feel
Yeah.
like it's on us to be a steward of our great ones. Why would I let a person
Whoa.
like you carry your own? Because you know why? The scholars that I follow talk about whenever they were young, they carried Dr. Ben bags or Dr. John Henry Clark bags, or they spent years carrying so and so books. His
Yeah.
little. Why wouldn't I do that?
Man.
And all of us should take care of our ones better than that. So I wanted to say that before the show started.
Man, that mean everything in the world to me, dog. And you know, also I'll say about that night, I wasn't expecting to sign not one book. You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to get up out of there because I had to go back home, and it was sort of late. But yeah, I mean, we're just talking about this off air, man. Like, you know where we from, and I just think sometimes it's a cliche, but you cannot forget how you were raised, and like, I just would be shitting on everything that my grandmama taught me. If somebody waiting in line to talk to me about something I wrote, something I made, something I shared, and I'm gonna just sign it and keep them moving. Nah, bro. Like, I mean, sometimes it can be a problem because it takes so long for the line, but I'm gonna connect as much as I can with people who gonna, spend a time with some art that we made, because you ain't gotta spend no time with nothing we make. And man, the thing I remember about that night is I remember when I was walking to my car, I was like, we all right, we gonna be all right. You know what I mean? I ain't know what, you never know what's gonna happen on the street anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere. And the thing about me, I was paranoid because the Mississippi gubernatorial election was the night before, so I was mad and all that kind of shit. Anyway, but I felt like, man, we connected that night in ways that, like, you really don't get to connect with people at many book events, bro. Like, it felt like home, and I wasn't at home. I was in New Orleans, and it felt like home. So thank you, bro.
Because I had the opposite of that story. Before I wrote my first book, I was scouting, so I would go to book signings.
Right,
There's a particular celebrity, I won't say his name on my platform. We ain't trying to shade nobody. I don't do that.
right,
It's not a
right.
gotcha. We all stayed for hours before the man even came. When the truck finally pulled up, and we all like, oh, he coming, he coming, he coming. This man came in the venue off the top. Loud, loud, loud. Like, look, we ain't doing it like that. Y'all take y'all cell phone, put it on camera mode. You're going to walk up, you're going to take a picture, keep it moving. That's how it started.
That's how it started.
I was like, whoa. And the guy I'm talking about, I listened to his radio show for years, every morning. I worked 8 years on a delivery truck. I worked 8 years on a truck.
Wow.
50 hours a week playing this man radio show every morning. Loving it. He did that in 30 seconds. I'm like, man, you know what?
No.
I ain't played it since.
No, man.
You showed me who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know what get into. I'm not gonna front. Like, I don't know what get into us. Like, I just think sometimes we forget that the people, man, who want to touch us want to touch us. So you should want to touch them back, and that's just real life. That's just real talk, man. And as storytellers, I ain't gonna lie. I hate when storytellers do that, bro, because you got to be interested in every person / character you run across, everyone, and the details that you remember from that person should be like distinctive. And so, that's my thing, man. I really appreciate anybody who makes time for anything that we do, and I try to make that little moment, whether it's a minute or two, I try to make it as genuine as possible, because that's a big deal. Because I've been in your shoes too, man. I've been to events with like people who I looked up to. And man, shit, I can't even call it shade. Like, I ain't go, man. I went to this one time. I went to this one event for Morrison. They invited us, and somebody was like, "Oh, Miss Toni Morrison wants to meet you." And I had just given a talk, and I was like, "Word." I went over there to meet Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison was on some like, who is this nigga? I was like, oh, whoa. But you know, it's Mama Morrison. So you can say whatever you want to be. But I'm saying, like, I ain't gonna front like my feelings weren't hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let me go into our first official question, right?
Yeah.
You wrote the foreword for the newest release of The Color Purple, right?
Right.
Color Purple. Let's do some of these bells and whistles right quick, Kiese.
Hey, okay, let's
You can play with the
go.
bells and whistles right quick. Make it brand new. Color Purple, right? So,
Yep.
Color Purple, we all know for our culture, monumental joint. We've had global pandemics, we've had storms, we've had riots. The Color Purple is still here,
Yes, sir.
and it's gonna be here.
Forever.
So my question is, when you got that phone call to write that forward for The Color Purple and be a part of that situation, man, how did you feel? How many times did you rewrite it?
Oh man.
Were you nervous? Was it anxiety? Like, put us inside of the mindset of
Man,
writing
listen.
that. And I got a second part, but I'll wait for your answer on that.
Well, the way it actually worked out was Miss Walker read this book I wrote called Heavy. And then her people contacted me because they wanted me to see what she wrote about Heavy on her website. And when I got that message, I thought somebody was like punking me, or like I couldn't believe that. I was like, man, stop. So I talked to Miss Walker about my book, and that blew my mind. And then Miss Walker asked me through somebody else we knew, who was just brilliant, if I was interested in writing the foreword. She listen. Man, I mean, nothing in my life, bro, professionally felt like that. You know what I mean? Because The Color Purple is is one of the three. I mean, it is forever. It is a forever book, bro. Like it is. I don't give a fuck what happens. It's gonna be here, and we can all talk about what it and whatever you think of the film, what it did to our families, and so being able to write that, bro, like for the book and not that I put myself up for it, but shit, man. Alice Walker can ask anybody in the world to write that. Anybody in the world. And she asked me, I still don't even understand what happened and how she did that. But I tried to do what I could, man. It's hard to do that book justice too in like 3 or 4 pages, but I tried to do what she got me for, and it must have been okay because the thing, if anybody who know Alice Walker is like, if you turn in something that she don't like, shit, she not gonna run with it, and she'll let you know. Then she told me what she thought about what I wrote, and I was like, man, thank you. There's nothing better than what you just said, because I know if you don't like something, you're gonna say it as clear as possible,
I want to acknowledge the chat. First of all, shout out to the chat, man. Some amazing people in the chat. We love y'all. Shout out to Tracy from the Stacks. Nothing like the Stacks, man.
The Stacks.
Man. So I have a question from the chat. Does any of your writing come from these type of random personal interactions? Talk about that earlier. Going to the book, the ball in the company. Does any of your writing come from those type of personal interactions?
Yeah, because I'm still a writer, bro. Like I gotta write every day. You know what I mean? I gotta write every day just to keep the muscles sharp, and we talk about all kind of stuff. So like, just to keep the skill. And sometimes I end up writing about those interactions. I mean, you could write it. I mean, honestly, like I've thought about writing a book about like book tour type shit. I mean, I know it's already been done, but I just write about that kind of stuff just to keep my skills up. But it's always not. It's not. It's not straight on writing. You know what I mean? I might write about like sometimes people will sit and wait in the audience to be the last person to talk to you at a book signing, and I always think that's really interesting. The people who just sit down and they just gonna wait. And then for me as a person they want to talk to, I always feel so much pressure because the motherfucker waited like 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's sort of interesting quasi stories you can write about that kind of stuff. Yeah, but I don't know if I would ever publish it. That's a great question though.
That is a phenomenal question. We love good questions. Keep the questions in the chat. Keep the questions coming. I'm gonna try my best to get to them. Right. So my follow up to that question, Kiese, you have written a foreword in a book like The Abolition, Colin Kaepernick joint.
Yes, indeed.
Go and get that. This is a very, very emotional piece you wrote with that mother, man. That was hard, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we got another banger, 16.
Oh, you bringing them all out. Bring them out. Bring them out.
Kiese, there's more. Give me 1 second. I got you right here.
Bruh, come on, fam. I ain't gonna lie. I did that one. I did that one up. That one right there. That for I did my thing in that one. I ain't gonna. I'll pat myself on the back for that one.
So we get into the craft again. Give me the difference. Writing for yourself, writing heavy or something else, versus the 1600 or something else. What's the verses in that? Because I know you only have a page and a half or whatever it is, and it's not your project.
Right.
So is there a level of thinking like, okay, it's not my, I can't overdo it.
Right.
It's not for me.
That's it.
But then I still gotta come with it because you called me for a reason.
That's it. That's it.
So give the audience that kind of a.
You just said it. You just said it, fam. It's like you asked me, so I know you want what you think I bring to the page. But honestly, bro, like when I'm doing my own shit, like I am trying to fuck that page up. Like I'm trying to, and at the end, it's got to feel like it all comes back together. But when I go into other people's stuff, I'm respectful. It's like in hip hop where like sometimes I used to always be like, man, I would never want to rhyme with Buster, and I would never want to rhyme with M. And it was, like you or Luda. They not the greatest rap. I mean, greatest. But if you go on a song with them, they going to outshine you. I'll never try to outshine nobody when I'm doing something for a project. I'm trying to do something dope, but I'm trying to like pretty much be in that pocket.
You said it because the audience got to realize something. There was a hip hop component tonight. Him doing what he just did is important because what if you Eminem on Jay-Z Renegade?
Right.
And the whole world like, man,
right.
You got you on your own track.
Right. Yeah.
You got you on your own track.
Yeah. Yeah, when I first started, but that's, man, you taking me, cause when I first started writing, back in like 2006, this dude asked me to write this essay for this hip hop compilation. It's called the Hip Hop Reader, and I was kind of fresh out the box, bro. I was trying to blow everybody out the box, and I wrote this essay I wrote was called Hip Hop Stole My Southern Black Boy. The essay came out really in like 2000, early 2000, and then my sister Crystal Wilkinson put it in her anthology, in her journal. But early on, yeah, you're trying to show everybody you can write. You want everybody to be like, look at me. But man, like after I published a few books, I've kind of just started to like I don't want to embarrass myself, and I'm putting something in the anthology or forward. But I ain't trying to blow the page up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I mean, I've written some things in some anthologies that I feel good about, but I'm not trying to blow it up. When I wrote heavy, I'm trying to blow the page up, dog. I'm trying to between us, whoever listen to this motherfucker, I want motherfuckers to be like, I ain't never seen no shit like that before ever. You know what I mean? Like, but when I'm trying to write for somebody else, I want it to fit within whatever we're trying to do, and I want it to be smooth.
I don't want to forget this component of it too, right? Hypothetically, analogy. If I make myself some coffee at the house, I don't care about how much is making the coffee.
That's right.
But if I make you some coffee, I might measure the water, make sure it's right, the temperature, and I'm making sure the little froth and the sprinkles and the
the sprinkles. Yes, indeed.
Writing, I'm big on coffee, about it. I'm a coffee head.
Yeah.
But writing a page and a half for a forward might be more pressure than 200 of your own pages.
Yes.
I want to bring that up too.
And I wrote one for this incredible book called Bone, and that one I feel like I hit the I don't think it's perfect, but I think that the right kind of balance between honoring the request and what comes after, and kind of like trying to do a little bit of, you got to do a little bit. You want people to remember you were there, but you don't want to. You can tell sometimes when people try to take the whole show up, and I never even. And also, if you try to do that, the writing probably gonna be bad. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're trying to like show the world that you're the illest writer and shit, like that's probably gonna fail. So that's a beautiful question, Phil. I love that question.
I appreciate you, but I try.
Yeah.
Right? So the main event, long division, main event.
Yes, sir.
Talking about hip hop tonight. If you had to compare the long division to an album, what would you call it? What album would it be?
Wow.
You have to make a parallel. I love another Achilles does. If you love this song, you'll like this book. I love he does that. So in a particular scenario, 50 years of hip hop this year. If it was an album, which one would it be?
I ain't gonna. Listen. I'm not.
I got an idea.
I mean, for me, if it had to be an existing album, it would be Aquemini. But if I could, like, But you know how they did that double.
Wow.
You know how they did that double album where like it was mostly Dre and then mostly
But
Big Boy,
below,
Love
love below.
Below and Speaker Box.
Speak
But
about it.
but really, what I really was wanting to do was make AT Aliens and Aquemini. I failed at it, but that's what I wanted it to be. If it was a double album, I wanted it to be like that.
I had it written AT-Aliens.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Yes, sir.
We're going to do the time futuristic.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to do all of that, right?
Yeah. What album did you come up with?
AT-Aliens.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Extraterrestrial?
Yeah.
Out of this world?
Out of this world.
Are you aliens?
Are you aliens? Yeah.
Hey, bro, you know what's crazy? Not many folks know that track.
Man, that's the one.
When I mention it, people are like, huh? And then I put it on. They be like, what?
Listen.
You gotta play the whole album, bro.
I got to.
What Jay-Z say? Do you listen to music or do you just skim through it?
And people skim through it, dog.
They be skimming their ass.
People be skimming. People
like skimming these books. They be skimming, right?
That's right. That's right.
Tracy said, if you fail with Long Division, do you think you succeeded by your own standards on any writing project? Thank you for that. The queen of the podcast, Miss Tracy, with the alley hoop. Thank you, Tracy.
I mean,
keep it coming, Tracy.
I mean, bro, when that first How to Slowly Kill Yourself and Others came out in 2013,
yes, sir.
That mug was, I mean, it wasn't nearly as good as I could do, but it was. I think I got that moment. Okay. I think heavy just in terms of like the memoir genre. I'm not gonna front like I know I landed. You know what I mean? Like you landed. It ain't good. It's not the last fourth of that book needs to be rewritten. But I read that genre. Like I know that genre well, and it's hard to develop your own voice in that genre, and it's hard to like develop your own like style in that genre because so much shit has already been done. And heavy ain't got to be perfect, but I think did something with voice and form that I think maybe.
Let me ask you a black girl question, right? Do you think you ever landed? Like, Kobe Bryant scored 81. He'll probably say, man, I missed some free throws tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I know, you're right. That's the thing. I landed one essay in my life. Like that, the essay on Outkast, it's an essay on Outkast and my grandmama. Like that essay, there's stuff in the middle that I could fuck with and it could be different, but like that shit is good, man. I mean, and I'm a real tough critic of like art. Like privately, like I don't really like much. I don't like much of my own, and I have different standards to other people, but that essay is good. And there's portions of heavy that are kind of on, you know what I mean? But for the most part, when you fuck up, when the shit is not how it's supposed to be. And thankfully, like most of my shit is not, to my standards, like good, which is why I keep on writing though. So
right. There's another hip hop question. If you had to compare your writing style or even the energy or the thought process, what rapper would you be? What rapper would your beat be?
I mean, you're asking questions and making me sound like I'm feeling myself. I mean, I wish my art could do what Kendrick could do as an MC. And I think we don't take into consideration all of the voices. When people talk about M, they always talk about how he can modulate his voice and do all this. But Kendrick got a lot. Kendrick got as many voices as M. And Kendrick has a deep sense of soulful right and wrong. That doesn't mean and thankfully he's moving and navigating like his way through that shit. But also that motherfucker is the king of the concept album. Everything he puts out is a concept album. It's supposed to be read like a book. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I'm not saying I'm like Kendrick. I'm saying I would like my art to be like Kendrick. You know what I mean? Like much more than other people who I like respect crazy, like Jay, like 3000, like Scarface, like Lauryn Hill. I think more than any other. I mean, Lupe too. Lupe is kind Incredible on the line, man. Lupe is slept on, I believe, but Kendrick is what I want to do. And nowadays, like No Name. I don't know if y'all listen to No Name much, but No Name is just so fucking good, bro. Like theoretic, like as a theoretical motherfucker, but also on the line. And so I think those would be the two that I wish I could be more like.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that answer. Question from the chat, Miss Mia Woods. She was at the event as well at Baldwin Company.
What's up, Mia?
She said, outside of your own, what memoirs mean the most to you outside of your own? What memoirs mean the most?
Oh my goodness. I mean, if we're
Give
talking
us
about
a good recommended reading list, Kiese.
yeah, if we're talking about contemporary, you gotta put in. I'm just gonna name my Darnell Moore, No Ashes in the Fire, Michael Denzel, between Tracy loved Michael Denzel's last the book before last, actually. No, his last book, but the book before last, Invisible Mind Man Got the Whole World Watching. Um I mean, obviously I like, I mean, more than like I had to read a ton of their of dude, what am I just thinking about? I just blanked all of a sudden. I had to read a ton of, actually I had to read a ton of like Audre Lorde, bro, like to write heavy, which was weird. People don't even ask that about. I mean, it's weird now when I'm talking about it, but I had to read the cancer journals over and over because like the thing about that book, bro, is like I wanted to be real strong on the scenic level, and that's kind of easier for some of us. But then you got to be able to say like, take a step back and make like big ass statements about the world or about something else. And the thing about Lorde is that Lorde doesn't do much on the scene level, but I think she's really good. And Baldwin is doing this too, at like making these like pronouncements, right? Like these proclamations. So I was trying to do that.
You
Obviously,
said Baldwin, Miss Woods have an actual James Baldwin tat. I couldn't believe it.
what
I
is
was in
it?
line to get Desmond Award book signed. I turned around
Yeah,
and looked. I said that is upside down, but to me, I said that James Baldwin.
right,
I'm like, you got a Baldwin tat.
bruh.
That's hard.
If I get a tat, I think I want to get Baldwin's eyes, bruh. Like I've been thinking about this. I ain't got no tat, but like it's the eyes for me. It's the eyes for me, dog. Like
Could you imagine a book signing and the person got a Kiese tat?
my nigga, I mean, that's what
What you
I'm
gonna
saying.
do?
Like,
What
I
you
done
gonna
been
do?
to book
What you gonna
signings
do?
and motherfuckers got tats. Like, bro, like that's what I mean. I've been in plenty where people got quotes from me on their body, but I went to one. I went to one in Boston. Somebody had like a face, like it was like a face of me, and it was out on the West Coast. There was like two people, and that shit was weird to me.
Damn,
But
Kiese.
nah.
Are you like flattered? Are you scared? Are you like what? It's like a stand moment.
Yeah, it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm too curious. Like I want to talk to that person all night and ask them how and why. You know what I mean? But you got to play it cool and be like, "Oh, that's my face. Oh, that's what's up." But really,
So I'm not that major at all. I mean, it's a Sean P show, but that's it, right? I haven't had anybody get a Sean P tat, but I've
Yep.
had people copy my tat. I find
That's
that
a big deal. That's a big
I
deal.
find that and be proud. Like, man, look, Sean. I'm looking at my phone like
Right. Right. But you know what? Like that's when
that's
you ask that
personal, dog.
question. When you
That's
ask that
personal.
question about the memoirs, like people will show me. I know why the cage bird sings tattoos. Like a lot of people I know, and that's one of the books that like heavily influenced heavy too. But and Black Boy. But like I know why the cage bird sings. I've seen a lot of people with like that tattoo or that word, those words on their body, which means everything, dog. If you tattoo somebody words in your body, bro, like as an artist, come on, fam. I don't think
That's
it get
crazy.
much. It
I
literally don't
mean,
get much deeper than that.
I was telling my man in the chat, my man, Mr. Ladarius, years ago, I love quotes. Malcolm X, Edison, whoever it is.
Right.
When I first started being a public speaker, and I went home one night after my presentation, and the person had a post on Facebook with the Sean P quote behind it. My first time seeing me being quoted was
Right.
like, what?
Right. That's huge,
So I
bro.
can't imagine the whole
That's huge.
tattoo thing. That would be like just
Yeah.
that's a lot.
But also it's
Crazy to say,
incentive.
that's a lot.
It's an incentive. It's an incentive for you not to come whack. Somebody tattoos
Yeah,
your face or some shit on their body.
yeah,
It kind of can
yeah,
fuck you up your
yeah.
perception of yourself for a while. Somebody try to tell you about yourself. You be like, man, motherfuckers got tattoos of me on them. What
Tat,
you talking about?
tat. I was one of my publishers for the next publishing deal. Like, boy, they getting tats.
Right,
I'm changing the
right.
code, so they're getting tats.
That's funny. You're
You
right.
gonna get to that, Back to the book itself, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about time travel.
Yes, sir.
What made you tell this story using the vehicle of time travel? It's very hard to pull off in writing. Like, what spark or inspired your artist choice to say, you know what, we're gonna time jump, and why those particular years you chose?
Yeah, I mean, those years were important for, American history, but also Mississippi history, 65, 84, and like 2012, but 2012, 13. but also, fam, like it's a book about words and art, and like I think the mechanism we use to time travel when we create these kind of stories is important. I'm not gonna shit on that; is important. But also, I think we need to sit in the fact that if we using language, we are participating in time travel. Like if you're manipulating tenses, and a lot of us, we come from cultures where like you can have two and three different tenses in the same sentence. That means like your past and your present are literally colliding in your mouth or in your fingertips or your imagination. And so I just wanted to sit in the reality that black people, particularly black folk from the South, my nigga, like they always talk about we like so anachronistic or so slow and behind, but yet they take what we do to create a future for themselves. So that to me means that the sentence and the self are like contained with like past, present, and future at the same time. So I just wanted to create a book that was like interested in that and accepted that like we are the arbiters of time in the way we use language. And sadly, though, I still think black children get the short end of the stick, whether we're talking about past, present, or future. So I just wanted I wanted to kind of explore that. Yeah.
That made the degree roll even heavier.
Yes, sir.
Because we're doing it, like you said, with our mouth. We're controlling time and space. Like that.
Right.
That's heavy what you just said, bro.
That's it, bro. And that's why I think it's important sometimes when we try to correct our English or people try to correct our English. I mean, I understand why, but I also want people to think about what it is they're correcting. You know what I'm saying? If I say like, man, that motherfucker be talking all that shit, like I don't want people to just focus on the fact that I said shit. I want people to focus on what it fucking means to be talking, as opposed to he talks or he talked. Right? Like I'm activating a motherfucking verb that's already active. Like that's what, and literally like be talking means this motherfucker is that verb. So I just think if you take language seriously, you gotta sit in time and you gotta sit in character. And then it's just about what you make from that,
I hope y'all catching the bars, man. He up here, he's spitting.
He's tripping. He's tripping.
Double entendres and similes, metaphors, and he boring y'all up right now. Right? You focus on punctuation a lot in this book. For those that's not closely reading, the first part of the book, you put an actual period after the chapter titles. Right. I've never seen punctuation after chapter titles.
Right.
My good friend Sarah's in the chat. Shout out to Sarah. She caught that. She's the master annotator.
Oh, that's
and on the second half of the book,
Sarah.
you had the ellipsis, right? Also on the cover of the book.
Yeah.
So talk about like the use of punctuation in your conscious, always bringing that out and things like that. Like why that?
Yeah.
Why that
I mean, there's a portion of that book where Baze Shepherd says that she could be any punctuation in the world, she'd be in ellipses, dot, dot, dot. And the previous version of that book had the word division with the dot over the three eyes. And so for me, again, like as an obsessive kind of creator, like, to me, that was me saying that Baze Shepherd is on the cover of the book. She's one of the authors, the dot, dot, dot over the three eyes in division. On this new cover, they took the dots out and they just put the ellipses, because it used to be a dot over the three eyes in division. And so for me, dog, like it's just part of just exploring this notion of personification that you talk about the griots, like we come from motherfuckers who, I mean, whether it was Richard Pryor, whether it was like the orators like back in the day who were trying to mix, like, we make human animals, we make human rocks. And so I was attempting to make human punctuation in that book.
Something about hip hop. I think about that song Nas, I Give You Power.
Right, exactly.
Something about being a gun.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Tupac Shakur, Me and My Girlfriend sound like a gun song.
That's right.
Well, a girl song, but it's a gun song.
That's right, bro. And that misdirection is at the root of everything we do. Everything we do. I mean, and literally it's like why we here, right? Because we were able to misdirect these motherfuckers enough to stay alive. But also in that misdirection, I want to explore what space there is for like unadulterated, sincere love. And in that book, it's like unadulterated, sincere Black love. And so, like, I just feel like you got to slow all the punctuations down, bro, if you're talking about love, But think about the difference between your life when you've been a comma, when you've been a period, when you've been a hyphen, when you've been a parentheses. And so I think we all embody them shits at different times of the day, but I just wanted to kind of play with it.
So, Kiese, another black belt question. I've asked Maurice Ruffin this kind of a question and some other people. You're doing a lot inside of this book
Right.
that might go over a lot of heads.
Yeah.
Just like hip hop. Do you care if the person is catching what you're doing, or do you not? Can you just do it? And if they catch it, they catch it. If they don't catch it.
That's a beautiful question, fam. I mean,
I'm always thinking about that.
Right, because what you saying, what we talking about is like I don't really. I mean, I want people to catch it, but I mean, you're trying to advance a story. Like you're trying to get people to care about a character on page 1, and hopefully the motherfuckers can care about that character on page 201. And so that's the main thing I'm trying to do is try to get you to move from one sentence to the next, one character to the next. But we creators, fam. Like, you want to pack that shit for people who want it to be packed. And so if you really want to delve and dig into a text, that book is far from good, even. Definitely not perfect. But it's a lot of subtext up in that motherfucker, bro. Like and that's important to me.
Yeah. So Sarah just said, I love the moment in the book. I be the ellipsis.
That's right.
Chapter 28, page 287 in her copy, right?
Wow, so, yeah.
The battle rapper, you in New York right now, by the way. The battle rapper, Loaded Lux, my favorite battle rapper.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to talk, then. We're gonna have to talk. Because I think I love Loaded, but I think Rum Nitty about to get him. I think Rum Nitty got to get him.
Okay. Let's go. They watch it. But I saw him talking in an interview one time about, unfortunately, in battle rap in real time, he's doing so many things with his bars. He's taking so much time and patience to piece these bars and punches together, but the crowd in real time might not catch it when they're judging it.
Right.
They watch it later 2 or 3 times, like, oh, that's what he was doing, but it's already over.
Right.
And y'all picked this guy over me already.
Right.
So do you think, as an artist, does it hurt your craft if the audience not getting it, or do you write different after that? When you realize do you dumb it down like Jay-Z? I could have rhymed like common sense.
Right.
And then I ain't rhymed like common sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. But what was dope about but even that verse, right? And Jay says, I ain't been rhyming like common sense. But then the next bars he says, right? When your sense got that much in common, you've been rhyming sense, in section perception go with what makes sense. So like he's doing this thing where he's like, I'm dumbing my shit down. But then in the next verse, he's doing the opposite of dumbing it down. And so I do, bro, like I do want to meet people and sensibilities where they are. And that's the most important thing. But then, like we all nerd out on shit we nerd out about. Every one of us in some way. Like this is the shit we obsessed with. And so like I'm not gonna be mad if people don't get everything I pack into a text. But like that's why I feel like Heavy, I got it more than I got in my other text, because you can read that book and just be like, oh, this is about a mother and a family going through addiction. Go to school, You don't have to catch all the literary references, all the hip hop references. You don't have to catch all the double shit. You don't have to. But if you do, I think it's a deeper reading experience. So you just want to give people enough where they can feel like their hearts are dragging them through. But you also want, for the motherfuckers who want to sit and reread, you want to give them something to hold on to,
In this book, at a certain point in the contest, city is what, if you don't know, now you know.
Right. You're right.
I had to stop and tell Sarah, who's not from our culture,
right?
I said, Sarah, that's the Biggie Smalls song, you know that, right? She was like, what?
Biggie. Right.
I had to go YouTube and pull it up.
Right.
But as Sarah reads this book by herself and don't know Sean P, like, okay, you don't know, now you know, turn the page. And then last night we were reading it, you said LeBander Peeler came, he had a dashiki on, right?
Right.
You know, ether me. You might just read it like that. I said, Sarah, you know what ether is, right?
Right.
And I described the Nas, Jay-Z beat before 9/11 and this and that.
Yeah.
YouTube it, send it to her, like, but if she don't have Sean, is Sarah gonna catch the ether? It's only one word.
Right.
Or do you catch it?
Right.
You gonna ether me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I play ether for her.
Yes, indeed.
So it's
and the Loaded Lux. And the, but can we just say something about the Lux, Sean? Is like, and Lux is most known for that Calico battle, right? The 3rd round Calico where he goes off and you were lost, nigga. But that second verse to me, that second man, that's you gonna get this. But that second round to me, is where Lux is giving them that work in that second round, right? Like, but you got to give people what they kind of came for too. I just don't think it's either or. Like, that's all I keep trying to say is like, I think you can give people, when Lauren said, and even if, after all my logic and my theory, I add a motherfucker, so you ignorant niggas hear me. Well, I'm partially an ignorant nigga. Like, I need that motherfucker, but I also need a lot of logic and theory, That's right, Mia, So
we're not name dropping tonight.
Right.
But you need a Charleston White in your life. You like Charleston White energy.
Bruh, I wish I had if I had to sit down with Charleston White, I think I could end his career, bruh.
You know what I'm saying? Here we go, keep it going, right? So you are the king of revision. Back to some more flowers for Kiese. When I found you in Books of Pop Culture, shout out to them brothers, years ago, I never heard somebody harping on revision the way y'all was talking about it, breaking these books down and all of that, right? So many people see Kiese or Toni Morrison or whoever, and you imagine in your mind, y'all take y'all pen and the magic just flowing out the pen. The minute you start typing, it's like this out the pen.
Right.
And you harping on revision. You and Robert Jones Jr. talk about it the most. I see.
Yes, sir.
But tell us, like, when in your career did you focus in on revision? When did that happen? How did that start?
I mean, it really started with my mama, man. Like, my mama taught me how to read and write, and when you young, you want everything that you manage to write. You want somebody to say it's good. And my mama taught me the difference between something being important, which is everything that come out of your pen, everything that come out of your mouth, and something being quality and good. And her whole shit was like, you got to keep revising until that important shit becomes good. And I didn't listen to my mom about a lot of things in life, but I listened to her about that. And I also realized, bro, like, we talk about sports offline a lot, and I'm just not one of them natural writers who, if you give me 20 minutes, somebody go in the booth. They always talk about Jay go in the booth, he hit a beat, the motherfucker feel it, and then he starts spitting. No, sir. I'm more like 3,000 in that. Like, you give me a beat, I'm going to write some. I'm going to come back to it in the middle of the night. I'm going to wake up at 4 in the morning. I'm going to wake up at 5. I'm going to think about this shit obsessed all day. All day, I'm going to be like, it ain't good. And you know what I mean? That's how I got to write, because I'm not good enough to do it the other way. I'm just not. You know what I mean? Like, I understand there's some writers out there who can. Like, it's not me, dog. I got my mind my mind isn't that. I can't do it. But you give me some time, I can do some shit that maybe you haven't seen before. But it's gonna take me some time. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm also once the stuff leaves you and it goes out in the world, you got to be okay. And I'm just not okay if it's just like, blah. If it's just not blah, I ain't okay with it.
Yes, sir. Once again, my audience, I'm blessed. It's a very, very incredibly intelligent audience, man. So I have a lot of writers watching these shows. A lot of people that's, once again, the manuscript in the laptop already. It's just getting that confidence to push that button. Your phone full of notes already.
Right. That's right.
So hearing what you're saying, like, man, look, this is Kiese. NAACP, et cetera, New York Times. And the man saying it's not like magic out the pen. It's just repetition, man, getting the reps up, getting the shots.
That's right.
$10,000, you know what I mean?
And other thing, Sean, can I just say one more thing? Other thing is, bro, like, when we get older, I just don't trust my first response to anything. We talking about hip hop tonight. A lot of real quote unquote conscious MCs. I remember when I was growing up in the 90s, once they started freestyling, they were the opposite of conscious. They start saying the most fucked up shit, disrespectful, harmful shit you could say, because that was the first thing that came to their mind. That's the first thing they thought people wanted to hear them rhyme. And I think sometimes when we're writing, I'm not saying it's completely the same as like MCing, but I just don't trust my first response to anything, nothing, because I'm an American. You know what I'm saying? And I don't trust us. And I don't trust our first responses to anything.
Wow.
I don't. I think motherfuckers need to be sitting and really ruminating over some shit before we do or say something, But anyway, but all that said, I know there are people out there who I do trust. I trust their first impressions. I trust their first whatever. I'm just not one of them people.
May I ask you for a couple names in that ilk?
Oh, for sure.
Who you got? Like first time out the gate, who you got?
I mean, listen, bro. I mean, Jasmine is Jasmine revises like a is like a maniac at revision. But she also her earliest shit is just good. You know what I'm saying? Like Jasmine's first draft's better than most of our 30th drafts. You know, I got a friend named Robin Rao. I grew up, we went to college together. She's a writer now. She's a professor. Just like, and you know, just really taught me how to write scenes. But like, just like, you know, go into fucking a room, come out 20 minutes later, and you got something. There are a lot of other people out there who might not want me to say their names. You know what I'm saying? Because it implies that they don't work. And I'm not saying that. I think what makes Jasmine is that she can come out the box with some shit that's out the world, and then she keep on working on it, and she keep layering.
Like a LeBron.
Yes.
Gifted, but still put the work.
Exactly, fam. Exactly. That's it. That's the perfect.
I did that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I'm having a good time, man.
That's it.
Besides focus on revision, you focus on the middle. I've never heard so many people in my life, writers, filmmakers, anybody, talk about the middle. Like you emphasize the middle.
Yeah.
So tell me like where that came from, the focus on the middle.
I mean, bro, like, you know, sometimes you gotta meet words that like your body and your mind have been sort of feeling. And when I was in grad school, I had this teacher named Scott Russell Sanders, and he never taught me this, but I went and read a book by his where he was talking about our obsessions with the coast, the left coast and the right coast have forsaken the middle. You know what I'm saying? And if you like where we from, we're not just from the middle, we from the middle, we from the bottom of the middle. And so the root, the boot. And so like, you know, that's not shitting on the margins, because I love to live in the margins too. But when you forsake the middle, my motherfucking niggas, you can't ask why the shit's soulless. You know what I'm saying? When you forsake the middle, you can't be like, why the fuck are the fingertips and the hair and shit falling off? Shit, you forsake the middle, motherfucker. Like there ain't no. And so as motherfuckers who came from the middle, who I feel like are like, you know, have saved this country like a fucking million times.
Kiese,
you know,
coming from where we come from, I've been saying for some years now. I said, pay attention. Dr. Imani Perry, Jamila Minix, yourself, Maurice Ruffin, like the South got something to say. Like it's coming like back to back. Some of the who's who every year they from the South.
The South, bro. And that middle. I mean, and we write differently. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say like, but I'm gonna just say something, bro. There's some grandmama and all of them people you just named. There's some grandmama and all them people you just named. And I'm not saying there ain't no grandmama in the motherfuckers from the left coast or the East Coast or whatever, you know, everybody. But I think that the level of hatred for us in the middle, fam, we just turn that shit into something else. And
even in hip hop, even in sport, it's like, man, we from New York playing basketball. We from New York rapping. We from Chicago playing ball, rapping. Like you from Louisiana, like man, you from Mississippi, like But bro, we got something to say too. We got some.
But you know what's ill though, fam? Like, and I'll say this to you, and I say this to Achilles too. It's like, you know, I played ball coming up, and I used to get intimidated when motherfuckers said they were from New York. You know what I mean? Like, I used to think that meant something. But listen to me, bro. Like, the special power we have as Southern writers who actually love the South it's like I hope people hear this right, but like the competition ain't even fair. It's not fair. So like the people you name, we not stepping to the East Coast where most of the publishing is, or the West Coast where Hollywood is. We don't step to the motherfuckers with our head down, and if we do, we got our head down laughing because we know we coming with all of the fucking shit, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say we superior or nothing like that. No. But what I am trying to say is we listen to our grandmamas, and some regions have a hard time doing that. That's what I'm gonna say.
So Kiese, there's a beautiful documentary on Netflix right now. I saw it last night. It's Chris Rock and Kevin Hart.
I ain't seen it yet.
Yep. Fire. I advise it. It's fire, right? But in that, Chris Rock talking about his beginnings, how easy it was for him because he lived in New York. I could just take a train anywhere and like work so much in one night. I could do 13 sets in one night. There's not a culture like that in the South. What am I saying? It's actually harder for us in most things. There's no literature culture like talking about where we live at. There's no poetry culture and oh, let's go into poetry reads. We don't have that a lot
Right.
of times. For us to be a poet in the South,
Right.
I'm grinding, trying to get on the stage and do a slam and do a.
Right.
That's a whole different grind.
Right.
So when I
Right.
finally get to New York, man, this is nothing.
Right. Right. Right.
When I
And
finally write and get there, man, this is light.
it's light work.
Months to get here.
But the hard thing, fam, is that so many people in general, but so many people, particularly from the South, bruh, we brought our talent to New York, and all them motherfuckers said no. You know what I'm saying? Like Jasmine had to publish with Agate out of Illinois because the motherfuckers in New York was like, fuck you. I followed Jasmine because the motherfuckers in New York was like, fuck you. Now, what I'm trying to say is like, you got to feel yourself a little bit. Is like, there are a number of people who New York said fuck you to from the South, and they tried to make their art more palatable to that audience. I think what Jasmine and I did to a different degree is we created an audience using the internet. She created an audience using her work, her short stories that were so fucking good. I mean, her fiction that was so good that it became award winning. And then people were like, oh, fuck, Jasmine Ward's winning all the awards. Let me get in there and see what it's about. Oh my God, this motherfucker writing she's writing shit I've never seen before. But what I'm trying to say is, as artists from the South, when New York or the West Coast tell you that you ain't shit, a lot of us have to decide, like, do we want to make our art more palatable to those people? And I understand why you would. But I also just want to say there's an abundance of wonder in not doing that. Doesn't mean you don't need to revise and change and all of that. But you know when people are shitting on you, man. You know when people think your people ain't shit. And for me, I just use that as fuel, dog. Like, I think it's funny. I think it's funny when these non-writing ass motherfuckers look at us like we illiterate. I'm like, bro, we read you, the motherfuckers who made you, and all the people who made us. Now, and we out here putting art out right now that's moving the needle. So like, you still want to act like we ain't shit? Like, I don't care. That's you gonna lose. You know what I'm saying?
So I want to skip some questions to get to this. What you just said brought me to this place, right? Reading a whole lot of you this year, and Jasmine Ward, a whole lot of that. Jamila Minix once again, Maurice Ruffin, keep on going. The focus on smells.
Yeah.
And even Sadiqa Johnson with the House of Ease.
Yeah.
The focus on smells and sights and colors and sounds. They say in the South that we so slow, but do you think the advantage is we can stop and smell the roses, and we can acknowledge nuanced things in the forest and the woods, and Jasmine breaking down how to slaughter a pig. And once again, I'm telling Sarah, I was in high school slaughtering a pig and making hog crackling in class, and she breaking down the entrails and the nuances of it.
That's right.
That's the advantage we have in the South versus somebody that might be far removed from that. Maybe if you
absolutely. I mean, I don't really think that the slow critique. I mean, when people say that about us, they also saying that we dumb, right? They're trying to say that like intellectually, there's a level that we can't go to.
Sure.
But the wonder of the Southern, wonder of the Southern Gothic, the wonder of the Southern Real, the wonder of the Southern Surreal is that all of that shit is differently like organized, but the pacing of it, bruh, is Southern. Like, you have to slowly bring motherfuckers into some shit if you want to feel them exiting it. And I think like that slowness. So call us slow all you want to. And I hear Tracy too. Yep. I am being specific to what I'm talking about NYC and literary. I'm doing stuff with California now as it relates to TV and film. And that shit is as dreadful as the fucking publishing was. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still have, that's why TV and film are so fucked, I think. So yeah, I think in terms of NYC, I'm talking about media as it relates to publishing. When I'm talking about the West Coast, I'm talking about
you're in NY right now. Be careful, my brother. Be careful.
Man, I got love for so many people. I got love for so many people in NY, but I ain't never gonna forget what they made us go through, dog, ever.
Wow. So I want to go back to where I was before I went to that, right? Kiese, tell me about the importance of a young black man.
Oh, get the waves right now.
In the book, City was always brushing his hair, right?
Yeah.
And a couple of days ago, I'm driving in the whip. I'm driving trying to dig in my bag, like, man, where's my brush? Where's my brush? I was late for work. I pulled over, like, man, I'm gonna give me a brush. So I got this. But tell the audience the significance of City in the brush. It might seem like something in passing in the book, if you're not really a young man or haven't been through that phase,
Yeah.
make them understand and relate. And my
Yeah.
friend Emily, hopefully she's watching this, Emily out there, who's a psychologist, therapist, bibliotherapist, talks about us black men using this as a soothing
That's
mechanism. I never
exactly
heard that
what it
before.
is. That's
It's
exactly.
a soothing thing is happening when we all day doing that. We can't explain why we doing it. We on the block,
Yeah.
yeah, man,
Right.
last night the
Right.
game, we're just doing it. So break
Right.
that down.
Oh well, I mean, first I'll start with, if you watch a lot of spelling bees, a lot of those kids have what they call mnemonic devices, right? So like if I was to spell experience and I was in a spelling bee, I might be like EXP, like something to like busy my hands. And so I wanted to play with this idea of having a mnemonic device be a brush, because in our lives, like your friend Emily said, bro, like so many of us growing up had those brushes to shield ourselves, to protect ourselves, to have something, one, to do with our hands. But also, if you think about the kind of protection it is, you're protecting yourself by doing this with your hands while also making yourself beautiful, right? Like guys, that's something we have to talk about as black men. We were also trying to like make and keep ourselves
So
beautiful.
self
Care, and we're trying to shield ourselves from critiques that we're not beautiful. That's really what that is. And
Oh
so
man, the waves they spinning.
that's right. That's
You can do
right.
that, off. He ain't spinning.
Right. Man, and the thing is, man, bro, you can. I mean, man, I want to be able to so many nights with that fucking do rag, working up my shit, man. My hair
I
was so
can't
sweaty.
stand with a do rag right now. I can't
Bruh.
do it.
Yeah, I can't do it. I mean, I ain't got no hair. I ain't got no hair except like here and there. But man, if I did, but even when my hair grow a little bit, I still try to wave it up though. You know what I mean? But the shield, I mean, like Boots Riley, man, incredible rapper from this group called The Cool, incredible filmmaker. He had this verse in this song called Not Yet Free, where he's like, got a mirror in my pocket and I practice looking hard. And I always thought that was one of the illest like bars. Like he got a mirror in his pocket and he practices. So like, the idea of looking at yourself to see who you are. He's like, I'm trying to practice looking hard so motherfuckers will leave me alone,
Yes.
I'm not saying the brush operates the same way, but deep within, I think we're using that brush to kind of like, beautify ourselves, but also shield ourselves,
Jason Reynolds, I love Jason Reynolds, by the way. Shout out Jason Reynolds. In the
Yes,
book
sir.
Black Boy Joy, he had a little small spot in there, right? He was describing a young black man getting ready to go to school. He was trying to meticulously iron his pants and make sure the t-shirt right and the shoes got to be clean, the shoestrings, like even whenever we don't have a lot.
Right.
Even whenever we trying to put something together and we got hand-me-downs or whatever, we're going to try our best to present it a certain way.
That's right. That's
right. About that too with the whole brush thing,
And what I love about us is that we will at once like manicure ourselves to perfection. But at the same time, bro, like I remember growing up, like we didn't have a washer and dryer in the house. My mama, we didn't have much money. So like I would be like washing my fucking socks the night before, then trying to fucking like dry them motherfuckers in a microwave, right? Which is gonna make your fucking socks smell like whatever was in your microwave. So like so I'm coming to school trying to be fresh, smelling like cheese toast and shit. You know what I mean? So I'm always interested in like
the ramen noodle tube socks.
That's right. I'm always interested in the fissures, bro. Like where this and this go meet, and to me, that's where the art really is.
Sure. So here we go. Going to hip hop. Let's talk about hip hop real quick. Hip hop. 50 years of hip hop. Who's your top five, Kiese?
Top five?
We said it in private. Get the audience.
But let me ask you this. You asking top five to me or who I think the top five in the culture?
I want Kiese's top five.
My top five is 3000, Jay, Big, Pop, Kendrick.
Who's the last one?
Kendrick.
He said Jay, Andre. Okay. So we're Southern guys.
Right.
And this is before the internet, before they had the World Wide Web. Everything was very regional.
Right.
So how did you hear your Biggie Smalls, your Jay-Z's and things of that nature on the East Coast? How did you even hear that back then?
Yeah, I'm old. Go ahead.
Master P,
right.
Heavy Cash Money, Heavy UGK, right? All of that. So going to the music store, I'm sure Jay-Z and Nas was in there on the outskirts of the thing, but the main everything will be South.
Right.
So how'd you get
I'm old, bro, and so like I come of age where like it wasn't even about top 5 dead or alive. You know what I'm saying? Like so for us, I mean, also my parents divorced and my father moved to New York, so I used to always visit New York, and I didn't even visit New York City. I visit Rochester, New York, but the people I hung out with in
okay?
Rochester, this is in the
Gotcha.
80s. This is early 80s. They had all the shit, right? So, I'm seeing Crush Groove and B Street and, the motherfuckers put me up on Curtis Blow and Treasures, all these in Como D early. And
Kiese, were you breakdancing?
I could
Were you
pop.
were
I
you
could pop.
backspitting?
If you watch what's happening, I was more of a pop locker like rerun. You know,
You got the turbo. You got the turbo.
Oh, I can still do the turbo, but I ain't gonna embarrass myself right now. But you know what's ill is that when I would come back from New York, my people in Mississippi they didn't make a distinction between Rochester and New York City. Like they just be like, Keith came back from New York, so they was like, you got the fresh shit. What is it? So I give them a tape or something. You know what I mean? A tape we had. It could be any shit. But the Southern MC fam who really set it off for us, and really, that's what I'm saying. My top 5, I probably would really take Biggie or Pac out and insert Scarface if it's really my top 5. Because Scarface to me was, Scarface. Without Scarface, there's no Biggie and there's no Pac. You know what I mean? And he was the first one to take mental health completely seriously and use words that people are using now to describe like our mental state. So, but I didn't. It took me, man. I had to go to college up in Ohio. This is tied to the No Limit shit. Because when I was in Mississippi and I got kicked out of school, No Limit, Goody Mob had just come out. I love the Goody Mob. And then when I went to Ohio and went to school, a lot of motherfuckers on my basketball team were from New York and California and Chicago. And they was just shitting on the South so much that it made me gravitate to what came out that year, which was Ghetto D. Like Ghetto, like that Master P album.
Yes, I was in high school. Yes,
but the me that was in Jackson growing up, that shit wasn't lyrical enough for me to really be bumping it. But when I got up there, they shitted on it so much. I was like, yo, that's us too. You know what I mean?
See, people have revisionist history, right? They act like, man, I've been on Lil Wayne. Man, I've been on Juvenile. Kiese. I was in the military in 2000.
Yes.
In the CD era. We all got our CD case.
Right.
The New York guys, Chicago guys, we in the car playing CDs, taking turns. When I put No Limit on or Cash Money, man, turn that shit off. Man, I don't hear that shit.
Exactly, bro.
Straight eject button, man, turn that shit off. But now Lil Wayne do the la 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 lollipop.
Right.
I've been on Lil Wayne. I've been on.
Right.
Y'all Johnny come lately.
Yeah.
As the old school scholars say. Y'all just coming on this.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't been on this. Y'all
and even the people who got on Wayne, man, like, and Wayne, you gotta respect his. I mean, it's hard not to put Wayne in top 5, just from the volume of what he done. But if you ain't really listened to the Carter, I don't really know if you get it yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know if you get it.
Squad up, Lil Wayne. Squad up.
Squad up. That's right. That's right.
The drought, all of that. The drought, squad up.
Yes.
Drought is over. The mixtape run was crazy by itself.
That was a career. Bro.
Mixtape features?
Yeah.
Hundreds of features in like a short period of time. Hundreds of features.
Making it look easy, man. Nobody ever made it look easier, bro.
Effortless.
Yeah.
Effortless. Yeah. So let's think about Mississippi hip hop. Big Crit, David Banner, things of that nature. What's the impact of that for you?
Man, Mississippi's so small, bro. Like we all connected. So like, when Banner came out first with this group called Cricket Letters, he was in a group with this brother named Kamikaze, whose real name is Brad Franklin. Brad Franklin was like my OG. His little brother was my best friend in high school, Brandon Franklin. We call him B Dazzle. So when we in high school, man, Lavelle and Brad, what the fuck? That's his real name. But fucking Banner and Kamikaze, bro, like they making the fucking most fire shit we heard when we went to high school. And they just kept going. And sadly they broke up. But when I got my job in New York, man, I was going through like a lot of bullshit. that Crit brought me back to life. And the ill shit is like Crit grew up in Meridian, which is like 30 or 40 miles from where my grandmama lived. You know, I stayed in Forest, Mississippi with my grandmama for a lot of my like childhood. And so like the idea that, man, this brother was spitting that soulful ass shit from Mississippi is one thing, but to know he did it like right down the road from my grandmama house, man, it just made sense. And so, and even today, man, my dream is to do this project with Crit. Like I'm doing some TV and film stuff now, and I just want Crit to score it. I'm gonna keep saying every interview I get, I want Crit to score it, because I think Crit might be one of the most talented musicians on earth.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about that, actually.
Right. So let me ask you this. You have all this prestigious writing experience in these universities, the halls of academia. You've done it. We celebrate that. But we know that the heart of your pen is in hip hop, right?
Right.
How does hip hop influence your pen?
Oh my God. I mean, I said this before, fam, but I don't know if people get it, but I love the community of writers that we have in this world. Like, you know, you talked about Robert. Robert is one of the greatest writers, and people don't believe it yet. Like, wait till you see this new shit. Like Disha, Phil, y'all, you know, Jason Reynolds, you know what I'm saying? Like Maurice Ruffin, Jasmine. These are people, brother, like are people gonna be reading about 300 years from now. So I'm always writing to my crew of literary people. But when I'm put a piece of art out in the world, dog, like I'm not trying to create the best book. I'm trying to compare that shit to an album. Like when I put Heavy out, swear to God, like I was trying to put out something that was like could hang with Miseducation and Good Kid, Mad City. Both, I think, memoir albums.
That's
you know
crazy.
what I'm saying? Or and like if you look at Drake, who people don't fuck with, but like Drake has this song called, you know, he's talking to his mama. So there's a you know, You in the Six. I think that song is called, or like when, you know, Pac did Dear Mama, or any of the mama songs. Like I'm creating art like with the awareness that it's literary, but I want that shit to go against the hip hop albums that kind of like shape me. So I want Heavy to sit next to Miseducation, and I want motherfuckers to be like compare and contrast. You know what I'm saying? Like same thing with Good Kid. Like I want people to be like, I want people to look at them as art objects and like see if they connect in any way. So I'm always comparing the final thing I do, honestly, to albums, much more than like literature. Much more.
My mind always imagining the Harlem Renaissance and those writers being influenced a lot by, you know, jazz and things.
Oh, yes, indeed.
That's influencing them at that time.
Yeah.
You know, the hip hop of our era influencing you all, that class of writers, man. I'm thinking about
absolutely. And the thing about the writers coming up now, bro, like the relationship is like all of the writers you just named, we all fed off of hip hop. You know, people think about Jasmine as this like highly literary person, which she is. But if you also go look at like the beginnings of Jasmine's book, like she, you know, she's quoting MCs at the beginnings of her books. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Maurice, you know, like we're all...
People always imagine writers and you're just sitting there playing Jill Scott or Laura, you know, whoever. Right. And, you know, the little candles and you don't imagine you playing some big crit while you sitting there writing.
And
they're not imagining that.
And the thing is, bro, even if you ain't playing it, it just made our childhood. And the nature of hip hop itself, like it was something we were told we had to keep contained in these like academic spaces. We were taught. So really they're saying like the parts of you that are that, you got to keep that shit, you know, quiet and hush. And I think a few of us don't really like that, and we try to explore and express it.
I'm thinking about writers like this generation, Ta-Nehisi Coates.
And yes, indeed.
Kendi, and, you know, like all of these people are not that far from our ages, so
right.
I'm sure the same music fused them.
Absolutely.
And they're writing different than the other people from the 70s and the 80s, you know.
And one of the things I love most about Ta-Nehisi is that he's clear about the way hip hop and hip hop journalism impacted like his art forms, bro. Like that means a lot, especially on this 50th anniversary. Like we need to talk about the importance of what these writers, hip hop journalists, and also like these MCs and DJs, you know, and dancers, you know, did for us, man.
So you just said something about trying to push that hip hop down in the halls of academia. My man asked this question earlier, but it fits right now. In terms of alter ego, how do you decide which part of you gets to write? Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
That's a. I mean, one, you got to listen to the parts of you that most want to be expressed. For whatever kind of project you're working on. And then for me, it's like you got to think about the parts of you that you're most afraid of touching. You know what I'm saying? So it's a mix. You just got to listen to the different parts of you that want to come out, and then you got to kind of like maybe finesse the other parts of you that kind of want to keep, be hidden. And so like, when I write about the body, our bodies, or if I write about stretch marks, like that's a part of me that I know I'm not supposed to say as a black man, writer, want to be a hard body and shit. But stretch marks is a big part of all of our lives. It has, and it has been a big part of our lives growing up, and it will be, whether it's not. And so I'm saying I don't want to necessarily talk about stretch marks, but there's something in me that absolutely wants to talk about stretch marks. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta like listen to the parts of you that want to show themselves, and then sometimes you gotta nudge the parts of you that want to kind of hide. And a lot of us want we kind of want to hide. Most of us wants to hide, I think.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much for that question and the answer.
That's a beautiful question, bro.
We just talked about the hip hop that influenced this crop of writers. Talk about today's hip hop. First of all, who do you listen to from today's generation? Who do you play? Who do you like? And second of all, how do you imagine this generation of hip hop influencing the next crop of writers that's coming up behind you?
Yeah, I always get confused when we say generation, because like, I mentioned No Name earlier. I think No Name might be firmly in this generation, but then you look at someone like Kendrick or Rhapsody. Like, is Rhapsody in this generation, or is because Rhapsody might seem old to a lot of people. J. Cole is a little nigga to me, but for other motherfuckers he might be of this generation. So I listen to a lot of No Name, bro, a lot of No Name. I've been listening to a lot of Cole lately. I ain't gonna lie, and I mean, and over the pandemic, this is the thing about music that find you. Like, I listen to a whole lot of Dirk and a whole lot of Von, like King Von. Like, that shit found me for whatever reason. I was listening to a lot of Von and a lot of Dirk. And writing and making art to a lot of that.
Right.
But I don't know if my students would consider that. I mean, they would definitely consider Von and Dirk of this generation.
Yeah.
But the question that makes me afraid is like, I'm not listening to many 18 to 24-year-old MCs, and I think that's a problem, because the MCs that I love when they were 18 to 24, that's kind of when they were at their most potent. And I know music has changed and but like. I think the people I listen to are not that young, and I need to listen to that more as a teacher. I need to like familiarize myself more. Even if I don't like the shit, I need to be able to tell them why I don't like it.
Let me ask you this question. We're around the same age a little bit. How much music do you play? How often do you play hip hop? How often do you play it?
A lot,
I don't really play it that much at this point in my life.
You know what? I don't like to fly. I hate to fly. So I drive most places. So like, I have to go to a lot of places for my job and shit. And so I kind of live in my car. And so like, that's all I do, bro, is listen to the music. But yeah. The new 3000 album came out, and I've been listening to that a lot.
How's that going?
That's okay, man. But you know what it's good. It's good. Like it's a good. It's a
Do you write to it? They're like a writing
thing? Yeah, I write to it.
Okay, there it is.
I write to it. But the artist in me, the artist wishes Andre would have challenged himself to rhyme on one of them tracks. Because I've been listening to Lupe rhyme over them tracks. Like, Lupe rhyming over the 3000 track. But the album, man, it's an incredible, it's a revolution. And I actually think it's that medicine that we need. Like, I think we need to listen to that shit, and I think we need to sit down and talk to each other about what we hear and feel. And I think 3000 gave us a way into that. Now we got to do the other part, which is to actually sit down, cut off all the bullshit, and just listen. Yeah. But I think a lot of people our age don't want to do that, man.
as an artist and a creative, being around artists and creatives, I think he gave us a lot of courage
That's
to
right.
be that brave. Like no matter what they saying, what they're clamoring for, like do what you want to do.
You know what he
Whatever that is,
said?
do what you want to do.
Man, the thing he said that most struck me is like, after my last book came out, a whole lot of people were like trying to get me to come up with another book real quick. And I kept writing and writing and writing. And I got some shit I'm sitting on. But he talked about like just not being ready to share. Like when you're not ready to share, you don't have to share. And that's one of the things I think, quote unquote, success buys you. People always say it buys you time, which is true, but it also buys you like the ability to put the art out when you want to. And when it come out, it don't have to be following a trend. You know what I'm saying? So this next shit I'm gonna put out is different. It's very different. I'm sure a lot of motherfuckers ain't gonna fuck with it, but I'm gonna share that shit when I'm ready for my body.
Okay.
And Andre really like inspired me to feel that way.
Let's play with that a little bit, right? Just being that we're in this time frame of like social media and TikTok, Snapchat, all the pages, right?
Right.
So I'm realizing, in my opinion, that rappers and artists they're making their songs to be reels.
Yes.
They're not trying to make 4-minute, 5-minute songs.
That's
I'm
real.
not even trying.
Right.
Back to the focus on the middle.
Right.
I'm gonna just make enough for a 30-second, 2-minute reel, a clip.
Yep.
That's that.
Yep.
So do you adjust your writing as an author? Because today's generation is changing.
Yeah.
You don't have the time.
Yeah.
You have time, but that window is so small now.
Yeah.
Where it's like the next book.
Yeah.
Next book is a quickening, if you will.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think you gotta listen to. I'm trying to distinguish what you're saying between like if it's the market or like I think you gotta listen to the market. And if you listen to the market, you gotta listen to technology. Because it's wild the way technology has changed the way we deliver everything.
Kiese, back in the day, I love old books. There were a ton of books this size, like the big boys.
Right.
I don't know many people right now that finish these kind of books.
Man, listen, man.
You're probably better off writing something smaller, to be totally honest.
Man, listen, bro.
All my writing friends that you want to write a 700-page book, that's on you. But you probably should make a two-book volume.
Man, listen, man.
The market different.
It is, bro. And the thing is, I mean, it's really difficult too because you don't want to be one of these people who acts like there's only one way to consume our literary art, right? You know, I don't want to be like a purist to the point where you push people out of their particular kind of reading experience. But it's a lot of motherfuckers out here saying they read books they ain't read. And I'm telling you that as an author, man, like ain't nothing wrong with being like, I ain't read your book, or I only read the first chapter, or I skimmed it, or I listened to whatever. But motherfuckers will be coming to you like they read all your shit, and they'll be like, you know, I wrote this other book, man, called Heavy, and somebody be like, man, so how long has your mom been dead? I'm like, motherfucker, my mom ain't dead. You said you read the book. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with not reading, but the front end, like you read some shit when you saw a reel or you read a fucking Wikipedia entry about some shit, like that's what scares me. And honestly, bro, like I think the readerlessness of where we are is terrifying. But I also think we got to be careful because if you slip into that too much, you can do that thing where you think people who read are essentially better than people who do not read. And what we know in this world is that in this country is the motherfuckers who read, the architects of terror read. They didn't read the way we want them to read. They didn't read as widely, but they read a lot. So I think books are one of the primary agents of terror in this nation. And I also think where we are right now is motherfuckers ain't reading shit. Like you could just go up there and put any kind of bullshit ass theory on the internet and people will believe it because they're not reading. They're not reading, not going to the source.
Bro, you said a lot because I read a ton of old books once again. So whenever some of these New York Times best-selling books coming out and I start reading them, like, this remind me of like these 10 books I read before. Like it's not that just repackaged, rehashed.
Right.
It's for me that the masses haven't read those other books.
Right.
It's like a brand new concept.
Right.
Wow. With a nice packaging on it. But it's like that's not new content. It's not new concept. It just
and bro, like and the people, and it's not even the writer's fault necessarily as much as, I mean, it's our fault, but also, bro, like you got to think about, like, you know, the writers you named, if they come, like, they can't just publish what the fuck they want. I mean, even Jasmine, like, you know, Jasmine has to get an editor, and obviously most editors are going, every editor is going to say okay, but you got to get an editor to say I want to publish it. Then you got to get a public house to be like I want to publish it. So I'm just saying, by the time you go through all these people who often don't have our culture at heart, I think sometimes that the shit that comes out can be what you just said, which is often just like dripping and cliche.
Yeah.
Just fucking, just like
put that whip on it.
Put that whip on it. Yeah, yeah.
No, kids, back to hip hop. For me, I like most guys before they get signed, and it's just the underground. You're doing what you want.
Right.
When you finally go get that big deal,
right.
It's like to us, it's like it's going down, but you're doing what they're making you do.
Right.
So you was an independent writer, I heard.
Yeah.
You pulled a bunch of books out the trunk.
Yep.
Right. Masterpiece style.
Yeah.
And now you're on the other side, if you will. So give us the pros and cons of that.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, bro. Like the con is that when you're selling these books out of your trunk, you need to make sure you're getting the majority of the profit. If you're gonna be like fucking taking books, my problem was I signed a terrible, Master P type deal. Like I'm going around with IKEA bags full of Long Division and How to Slowly Kill Yourself. I'm selling them motherfuckers, and we sold like 50, 60,000, which is a lot of copies to sell for an independent book.
That's crazy.
But bro, like I was getting like 7% of the sales. I'm paying for the tour. I'm paying for, I'm doing all that shit. So the motherfucker so my point is, you can be independent, but if you sign a fucked up ass deal, I mean, I don't know the benefit of being independent. What I did was I showed the majors that I could sell books without them.
You have proof of product, right? Proof of product.
Right. Yeah. But and when they signed me, but my thing was the book I put out, the first major book I put out, it had to go there. You know what I'm saying? It had to like push and let motherfuckers know I'm not just coming, like I'm here, because when you sign that first major, if you do the independent shit, like you said, sometimes that major book can just be tepid, bro. It can be like whack, and so I got lucky. And you talk about, again, the connection between us is Southern writers. Jesmyn left Agate. I left Agate. Jesmyn went to Bloomsbury, worked with Kathy. I went to Bloomsbury, worked with Kathy. Jesmyn left Bloomsbury, went to Scribner. I went to Scribner. So we working with an editor who knows us, who trusts us, and who's our friend. So it's less likely we're gonna put out. I mean, we might put out some bullshit, but it's not gonna be synthesized bullshit as much as it would have been, if things didn't kind of roll the right way. But yeah, I'm a textbook case for it, man. Like I sold a lot of books without any help. And I just knew when I signed that major deal, I couldn't come whack, man, because I kind of know that's what the industry kind of encourages you to do.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna respect your time, man. One last question, bro. Any advice for the up and coming, the would-be writers, is watching these videos and things, they're sitting there with the laptop or the pen. What's your advice, Kiese? Coming out the gate, first time, what do you say?
I mean, bro, like, I think you gotta, I think two things. I think your routine as a writer, especially if you're coming out the gate, you got to just make sure that routine is as healthy as anything in your life. You know what I mean? If that, whatever that routine is, you need to make sure it's something that you can sustain. I think for at least like six months. And the second thing is
break that down. Routine,
yeah, like so like if your thing is I like to write 2 hours in the morning every morning. I think for younger writers, especially, you don't let anything stop you from writing those 2 hours in the morning. Now, if you want to write 30 minutes at night, whatever the thing is, you have to kind of build, this, bro. Like, whether you're doing martial arts or whether you're doing any sort of artistry, the revisiting that art daily at a particular time with particular shit going on, you got to give yourself time to know if it works. I think 6 months is time. Even if it's 10 minutes a day, give yourself time. The second thing I think is more important, which is that when we out here in these streets, man, spinning these words, you kind of want to make sure you're also being a healthy writer to the communities of which you're a part. You know what I'm saying? So like, I never was one of these, and this is a fault of mine. Like people be like, how do you fucking network and all of that? I don't know any of that shit. But what I do know is like when I didn't become a writer just to write words, I became a writer to help other motherfuckers get on. You know what I mean? And like I felt that way before I had anything published. Like I just think we here to help. We here to be of service. We're also here to ask for help. And so I just think, for young writers out there starting, please do the things necessary that enable you to ask for the kind of help that you need, but also do the things necessary to make it so people can come and ask you for things they might need. Because this shit, whether we believe it or not, bro, it is so individual, but it's a communal thing, though, bro. Like, we talking tonight, this is community. Us connecting like we did at Baldwin, that was a community. So you gotta be able to be leaned on. And for some of us who's hard to ask for help, you gotta be able to lean on too. So
I just think because this could be a very, very solo endeavor, man. I try to tell people all the time. It's like climbing Mount Everest by yourself.
Yes.
So if the book signing is a bound, I experienced that before, a bound book signing, nobody else directly around me even know what that feels like.
Exactly.
Besides my few writer friends, like, man, it didn't go good tonight.
Right.
They can empathize with that, sympathize with that.
Yeah.
Anybody else is like, oh man, it's always next time. It's all like, no, this is business.
Right.
I bought a certain amount of books.
Right.
I drove over here. I had to set up, break down. It's not just all right.
That's right.
If I had a food truck and a bunch of steaks, you would never say that.
That's right.
I bought a bunch of steak and somebody came and bought steak. So don't tell me for the book sign, oh, it's all right, it's cool. And no, it's not cool.
No.
Only other writers gonna even get that.
That's right. That's right, bro. That's right. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta kind of we gotta, man, like, I know writers in this industry, man, who are, if you get that success, you have to think that enables you to help more people. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Especially if you come from our communities, but you also got, I remember the last thing you said to me when I was in New Orleans, I ain't gonna say that on here, but you also gotta be weary, because motherfuckers be trying to take advantage and all of that. But at the same time, bro, like, I do think we are here to be of service. And that, again, I was raised that way. So I think your art can also benefit from being of service to other artists. But also you gotta build your boundaries. But
I want to turn back to your first point about the process and the routine. I love to ask our established writers that question, because so much of the practice conversation is about like trying to get on.
Right.
I love to ask the established, how much do you still practice? Do you still every day write? Do you still every day get critique? Do you still every day?
Yeah,
or is it like you hear the deal come and you get the check? It's like, all right, bet, I'm good.
No, bro.
We here.
I mean, the wonderful thing about this era is that I'm still competing with my friends, dog. Like, my shit to come out, I want Disha and Robert and even people on here, Tracy, Jason, you, Akili, I want y'all motherfuckers to like, I want y'all motherfuckers to feel it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm working every day. Now the thing about it is, like, once you create something that people like, it it does become harder, because I don't want to put nothing out that's whacker than that. But I feel good about what I'm doing. I'm writing film and TV right like this month. I'm focusing on that. And I feel really good about that.
Can you say anything about that? Can you say anything? Can you give some hints? Could you?
I'm writing
NDAs and.
I'm doing my own shit. I'm doing my own shit. Trevor Noah and then bought Long Division, so we're making that. That was going to be a TV show. It's actually going to be a movie now. I'm working on that.
Y'all hearing it.
I'm working on that, and then I'm working on this other thing, man. Like, I don't even know if I can say nothing about that, but they're gonna be saying something about that soon in the news. But my point is, like, I'm always working that pen, but sometimes you got to go away from the thing that, like, like book writing brought me here, right? So, but for me to keep that book writing fresh, I got to like maybe work on some haikus. I got to maybe work on some motherfucking like prose poems. I got to work on screenwriting, but. The pen is hot, man. The pen is working.
I'm gonna give you a surprise, Kiese.
What's up?
As we leave, that Chris Rock special, the last thing Chris Rock said was, "I'm cool with the Hall of Fame and all that, but I'm still actively playing. And I'm still getting 25 points a night."
Oh yeah.
The last thing Chris Rock said on that special.
Right.
I'm still actively playing. I'm still putting up buckets. I'm here.
Yeah.
The last thing he said.
Yeah. That's I mean, I love it. We here, bro. And that's what I want to say, bro. Like, we asked a question about young writers. I think you all got to know, like, everybody want to be like, I'm him, I'm her, whatever. Like, but you got to know you one of them, motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Real.
You know what I'm saying, Sean P? I know you one of them, dog. Like, I'm one of
trying.
them. I know I'm one of them. You know what the fuck that mean? Like,
Yeah.
and so once you know it, you got to let that shit carry you as well. And like being one of them come with its perks.
Man, you're gonna like it, bro. You're gonna love it, bro.
Yes.
They say, bro, you saw Chris Rock on that stage just proud on the stage because he had Dave Chappelle before him. He didn't care Dave Chappelle before him. He said,
wow.
I'm here.
That's
Dave
wow.
Here, I'm here. And then guess
what? That's crazy.
Kevin Hart followed both of them.
Woo!
Kevin Hart, like, I don't care what Chris Rock just did. I'm here.
Yeah.
And they all like that though.
That's it.
They all like this though.
Right. And they competing healthily, happily.
Yeah, healthy.
You know?
Healthy.
Yeah, healthy.
Yeah, man. So my first guest ever on the YouTube thing. I enjoyed it, man. The chat was popping. Hot, amazing crowd. Thank y'all very much. I'm honored. I'm blessed. I'm humbled. I love being here. I'm here too. I'm playing too.
Oh, you know that.
I got shows lined up till February already. Just letting y'all know. I got shows lined up already till February. They coming, bro. Maurice Ruffin. I got some people.
Bro, you doing this the right way, man. And I hope right. I just hope you keep on doing it. I know you're gonna keep on doing it, actually.
Yeah, I have to. My lifeblood, bro.
Yes,
my
indeed.
lifeblood is this, man. I love doing this. I love helping with the people. And Tracy is such a guiding light for me.
Yes, indeed.
I've bought so many books because of Tracy that I didn't plan on buying. I don't know these people or they work, but her show is so good. I said, you know what? I'm going to buy that right now.
Tracy a visionary, dog.
She's a visionary. Real book influencer. You really influenced me to go and press that button.
That's
go
right.
And get it. That's what it's all about. I'm just trying to be like that. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, bro. I feel you. But you're doing it. You're doing it.
I did, Tracy. Yes, I did, Tracy. Nah, man. Thank y'all very much. Salute to the next time. Next Thursday, I'll be right back. Next Thursday, the next Sean P. Sigma Degree Yachts. Peace.
Peace, bro.